Hello everyone and welcome back to another video. So this is the next in the Return of the Primarch series, and today we're going to look at the one and only, the golden child, the chosen son, Horus Lupercal. So Horus was the Primarch of the 16th Legion, known as the Lunar Wolves. Then when Horus was granted the title of Warmaster, which we'll speak about in a little second, he renamed his legion to the Sons of Horus. Now, after the Great Campaign or Great Crusade, let's say at Ullanor, and the Orc Empire was basically destroyed and left in ruins, the Emperor decided to go back to Terra to work on his scientific devices, aka the Webway, and he made Horus the Warmaster of all the other legions. He was directly in command of every other Primarch and their actions throughout the wars to come. Now, you could say that absolute power corrupts absolutely, but you could also make a note that having someone called Erebus beside your side is probably not the best option when you're the Warmaster. And this is really what happened with Horus. He had Erebus setting up these warrior lodges and stuff like that, and he was basically chaos from the start. Maybe I should do a video about Erebus sometime. And basically, Horus was led more or less into a trap upon the moon of Davin, and there he was basically shanked off like a demon. I think it was an anathema, if I'm not mistaken, and he fell into like a death state / coma, and in that coma the chaos gods more or less shown visions to Horus about like their so-called future, the Primarch's future and the Legion's future, about, you know, the Emperor is this bad guy, you should totally kill him, and then, you know, you can take over and you can rule the galaxy, you should be the rightful heir and stuff like that. Basically, the chaos fed him loads of lies to betray the one true Emperor, which is absolutely heresy, and that's why it's called the Horus heresy. So Horus betrayed his father, he rallied all his brothers who he could to his side, and that was the start of the Horus heresy. From there we had, you know, the stuff at Istavan, where he wiped out more or less all the loyalist forces of the Salamanders, the Raven Guard, the Iron Hands. Also he purged his ranks, the loyalists within his ranks and the other traitor legions ranks as well. So from the World Eaters, the Emperor's Children, the Sons of Horus, all their ranks of loyalists who would stay loyal to the Emperor also got purged in this time as well. Now let's fast forward to the Siege of Terra. I know we're going to miss a big chunk of stuff, but Horus and the Emperor have a showdown. The Emperor basically rips the soul and destroys the soul of Horus. In doing so, of course, the Emperor's mortally wounded. He's placed on the Golden Throne, yada yada yada, all that happens. And that's it. Horus is gone. Horus is dead. Or so we thought, because something else happened, and it is, of course, it's your boy again, old Fabius Bill, comes out of nowhere, and he clones Horus. Now, this is a tad bit of a spoiler warning. If you don't want to listen to the next bit, then please mute me now. Now, for those of you who know, Aaron Dembski-Bowden is making a series called, well, it's basically based on the Black Legion, Abaddon, and everything that goes along with all this Black Crusades and stuff. And in the first book, it's called the Talon of Horus, and at the end of it, the Black Legion, well, it's not really the Black Legion, but the people Abaddon's gathered, they assault basically one of Fabius Bill's laboratories, and in that laboratory there's a ton of Primarchs. They're like all in jars, all like mutated and got like 6 eyes and stuff like that. Fabius Bill's doing his own stuff, he's just, you know, messing around, but all of a sudden, out of nowhere, a full-on clone of Horus, a perfect clone of Horus appears. And it's like, my son, you shouldn't be doing this. Fabius basically cloned, he got the body of Horus and he cloned it. And it's this perfect representation of Horus. It's Horus in every way. But I don't think it's Horus in every way, because, don't forget, the Emperor destroyed Horus's soul. So I don't really know what this is. Even though it has the meat sack of what Horus looks like, I don't really think it is Horus, if that makes sense. One thing leads to another, and Abaddon actually manages to kill this Primarch clone of Horus. He actually uses the Horus's talon and puts it through Horus's chest and kills him. I think he says like a badass line, says, "You're no father of mine," or something, you know, something badass, as he kills him, and then I think he rips out his heart or something like that, and that's it, he's dead. The clone Horus is gone. So technically, Horus did return, but is it really Horus? Let's not put that down to that kind of Horus for now. So let's jump forward to the 8th edition story. The Great Rift has ripped across the galaxy. Forces of chaos are plunging out in massive forces, ripping the galaxy in twain. It is a grim time to be alive. Actually, it's always been a grim time, but I think this is probably the most grimmest time to be alive in the 40k IP. So how could Horus return? Could Horus return as a loyalist? Could Horus return as a traitor? Now, this is the tricky thing about all of the whole Horus thing returning, and I've said this so many times to so many people, is that I don't think Horus can technically return now, because the Emperor destroyed Horus's soul. The only really way that Horus could return now is through a clone, but that clone is not then technically Horus. It goes back to the situation we've just spoken about before. So I can't really see Horus as he was in the Great Crusade, or as Horus was during the Horus heresy, ever returning with that type of personality. But then you can make the argument against that, saying the way cloning works, and this is explained in Clone Lord, is that the Primarchs have the memories of their previous beings, even though they're cloned, because their memories are stored in their blood. So this is it's really super hard to judge, because technically you could say it's not Horus because he hasn't got the soul of Horus, but he's got Horus's memories, so he could technically be Horus because he remembers what Horus was like. It gets really super confusing when you start adding stuff like cloning and people don't have souls and all that kind of stuff. It really, I think it's down to the reader and basically what GW themselves want to do with the lore. I would actually love to know what you chaps think. Do you think if he did come back as a clone, then him retaining his memories would make him be Horus, or because he hasn't got his soul, because the Emperor basically, you know, just exploded it into whatever he did, then does that not make him Horus anymore? It's really confusing when it comes down to Horus returning in this kind of way. Okay, let's just put the whole soul thing and like memory thing aside. Let's say Horus he's back. He's back as a clone. Fabius Bile basically made another clone of Horus. He escaped. Let's say he remembers what he did. Maybe he regrets what he did. I'm gonna go down the path of that he regrets what he did. Why did I do this? I now see what chaos is for what it is. They used me. They used me to be this puppet, and they didn't care about me. They lied to me. They made me slew my my most beloved brother Sanguinius. They made me basically burn down this Imperium, which me and my father crusaded against from the start, since, you know, Horus was the first Primarch found, so, you know, him and the Emperor was very close. I think that was one of the main reasons why he was made the Warmaster at the start. Of course, he was very charismatic, and he knew how to basically play the Primarchs, their abilities and stuff like that. So again, that was really another reason why. But, you know, maybe this Horus sees now, I have been betrayed. You know, I was lied to. I've ruined my father's empire. I want vengeance. I must seek vengeance. I must repay for the sins and the crimes that I have committed against my father and his empire. Now, how he goes about this is going to be interesting. So, let's say, for example, he actually meets up with Rebute. He actually sees Rebute. Rebute sees him, he goes to him. But, you know, Primarchs have these senses, they know who's a Primarch and all that kind of stuff. Let's say one thing leads to another, and in some way he confronts Rebute. He basically bends the knee to Rebute. I would say, you know, Rebute, it is me, your brother Horus. Please don't slay me first. I think it's one of the things he's going to say. You know, I now know what I have done. I now know what I did to Father's Empire. I saw the ruinous powers of chaos. They tricked me. They did this to me. Now, does Guilliman just basically execute this clone right here, chop off his head with the Emperor's sword? I think that would be absolutely amazing, great justice. But for storylines, let's say he accepts Horus's forgiveness. Let's say, you know, he forgives him. You know, Horus, right? I forgive you. You know, Chaos can be a bad boy. Let's both take back what is Father's, and let's rebuild this empire. You've got Guilliman, the statesman who knows how to put people where they need to do, put resources where they need to do. He is marvelous at his job. And then you've got Horus just looking upon Horus is like looking upon a god, and you know the way he's described in books with his just appearance is just overwhelming to the mortal eye. So I think having these two together is the ultimate power team. This is going into massive fan theory, by the way, just, you know, as all these videos do. But these two together, I think, would be absolutely amazing. Just this brand new crusade of justice, let's say. I'm not going to call it Justice League. Meanwhile, the Legion of Doom, and then Abaddon pops up. So you have these two just going out then, and then it's kind of like a mirror of like Horus repaying for his sins, going out and crusading basically against the stuff that he brought to the Imperium. And I don't know, I think it'd be really, really cool if Abaddon and Horus had a showdown again. Maybe to take the claw back. Maybe Horus wants that claw as like, this weapon is my ultimate judgment weapon. You know, I want it back because I'm going to slay the heretics with this weapon, even though it slayed so many loyalists. I'm going to turn this around now, and I'm going to put it back on you guys, and you're going to suffer at the hands of this weapon and my retribution. Right, I think I should really stop there before I start really going down the rabbit hole and just to start sprouting out some absolute madness. I always love to hear what you chaps have got to say about this subject. Do you think Horus should return? Do you think if he even could return anymore? How would you have him return? Would he come back as good guy Horus like I went through? Of course, there's possibilities even to go down, you know, Horus comes back even badder and, you know, worse than ever. Let me know if you've got any theories about that, of course. And as always, who do you want for the next Primarch to talk about? Post it below and we can have a nice healthy discussion. I hope you've enjoyed the video. I'm sorry that this was super late. There's been so much stuff going on this week, but there you go. You have Horus Lupercal Primarch video now. I hope you've enjoyed it. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you all next time. See you now, and bye-bye.